What's up everyone? John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo here with an unboxing that I'm really excited about. This is the Motorola Atrix 4G for AT&T. Let's go ahead and dig in and see if this dual-core pack-in powerhouse lives up to the hype. So for a phone allegedly this powerful, the box is very unassuming. It's typical AT&T package here with the orange accents. Got a picture of the device on the front that was announced and we had a chance to take a look at CES 2011. So we got the package contents right there, but why read when I'm going to show it to you in just a minute. Got some legal specs on the side and some kinds of information that probably not many people are going to look at. This is stuff that is going to matter to you. Android 2.2. It's got a webtop application. There's an available laptop dock. I'll show you in an upcoming video that actually extends the functionality of this guy. It's got a dual-core processor, and that is the NVIDIA Tegra 2. It's got two 1 GHz processors in here. This thing is an absolute beast. And it is running the newest version of Motorola's Moto Blur skin sitting on top of the Android 2.2 platform. Here's sort of an overview of what you can do with this, and I'll show you all these accessories in upcoming videos. I'm going to kind of gloss over them here quickly. So there you've got your Atrix 4G in the middle. You've got a vehicle dock, of course, for navigation. Wireless keyboard, which you can use for obviously a wireless keyboard. Laptop dock that I mentioned actually turns this into pretty full functioning laptop. HD multimedia dock for getting content over to your television, and a standard dock just for docking and charging. Alright, so I will run over all the specs, but first let's go ahead and dig into the box and take a look at the Motorola Atrix 4G. This guy really represents a paradigm shift for smartphone hardware and how we think about our smartphones and what they can do. Dual core, whether or not it's going to translate to actual performance increases, definitely is a change for how we think about phones. I remember not that long ago when computers weren't this powerful. So from a hardware standpoint, this thing is incredibly capable. Whether or not the software optimizes the hardware potential is really going to be the big question mark. So you've got a quick start guide right here. You can go ahead and read that if you'd like. We'll push out the phone. It is sitting right on top. Off to the side for just a quick second. Here is the back. Push that off. Run through the contents so we can get to the phone. Looks like it does ship with an HDMI cable, which is nice of the folks at Motorola to include that. See if I can rip into this here quickly and show you what we got. The phone does feature an HDMI out, so it does have full-size HDMI, and then there's the smaller HDMI out port, which is kind of neat and nice that they included. Got typical wall charger with the USB port, micro USB cord for charging. Your monster battery here, which is going to be 1,930 milliamp hours, but is not that large from a size standpoint, large from a capacity standpoint. And then the rest of the Moto Blur stuff that you might want. Alright, so let's talk about this phone, because there is a lot in here, and I'll go ahead and power it on. Let's run through the specs very quickly. You peel off this plastic, because I know that annoys everybody. And there is a lot to like about this phone. So first, the price, it's going to set you back just about $200 from AT&T. It's got a 4-inch display with a resolution of 540 by 960. Motorola is calling that QHD. Android 2.2 with Moto Blur. As I mentioned, it's got that dual-core 1 GHz Tegra 2 processor. So that is two 1 GHz processors. Not one that equals, or two that equals 1 GHz. That's two separate 1 GHz processors. It's got 16 gigs of internal storage. Of course, that's expandable. On the back, let's see if they include a card in here. It looks like this one does not include an expansion card, but you can get it up to a 32 gig card in there. As I mentioned, it's got that huge 1,930 milliamp hour battery, which is one of the biggest batteries that I can think of that shipped, but not that large in size, so hopefully we'll be able to get to a full day of charge. Presumably a Tegra 2 chip is going to take a lot of power. It has a 5 megapixel camera on the back right there with dual LED flash, and of course it's autofocus as well, and can take video at 720p. On the front, we've got a VGA camera for video calling, Facebook self-portraits, or whatever other things you guys want to do with that front-facing camera. It's got an HDMI out port on the side, right there, right next to its charging port. It's also going to be equipped with swipe on board, support for AT&T's HSPA Plus network, and there's been sort of conflicting reports, but this is supposedly going to be upgradable to AT&T's LTE network via software update whenever that network is launched. And on the back, it's got a biometric fingerprint scanner, which is also the unlock button. You don't have to use it as a fingerprint scanner, but if you like, you can swipe your finger over it and unlock it, or you can just push it in. All right, so let's go ahead and put the battery in, pop in a SIM card, and see what this thing looks like, because it's supposed to be quite a powerful phone. I had a chance to check out some pre-production hardware when I was at CES 2011. So here is the back. It's sort of a plastic feel. I've got a SIM card handy. I'm going to go ahead and pop it in. I'm going to do it off camera because there's a phone number printed on the back of the SIM card. So go ahead and pop it right in. I'm going to cover it up. You can see where the SIM card's going to go right there. Take the battery and we will put it in. Which way is it going to go? It's going to go like this. Take the back, snap it on, hopefully with relative ease. Yeah, it just snaps right on nice and easily. And we will power this sucker on. And I'll give another quick tour of it while it is booting up. Probably have to go through Moto Blur setup. But you've got a new sort of dual core screen right there. So you've got your 4 capacitive Android buttons at the bottom. This one is unique to Moto Blur. That's going to be your menu button, home button, back button, search button, the VGA camera that I mentioned, the gorgeous 4-inch screen. This is a really high resolution display. On the left-hand side, you've got your micro USB charging port, HDMI out. That's what's sort of optimal for that TV docking station, which I talked about earlier, and I will show in an upcoming video. On the other side of it, you're going to have your volume rocker. It's like the back's not fully snapped in either. There we go. You're going to have a volume rocker on the top, 3.5mm headset jack, and your lock and unlock button is actually that biometric fingerprint scanner, which is kind of neat. A little bit annoyingly located if you want to sort of push it with your finger here, but I suppose you'll get used to it. On the bottom, you just have a microphone. It does have some noise canceling features as well. On the back, that's where your 5-megapixel camera with the dual LED flash autofocus is going to live. Here's some instructions here for how to use the back. Let's pull it off and get a sense of what it feels like and see what the build quality here is going to be. Go ahead and pull that off. It is plastic. It looks like there's some texture to it, but it's not. It's just a design. It's a soft touch plastic. There's a speaker right at the bottom there. Overall, the build quality seems to represent the new Motorola build quality, which has been quite nice. Definitely has a little bit of a plasticky feel, but it feels solid. It's surprisingly thin for a device packing this much power. Let me go ahead and bring in a few other devices for size comparison purposes. So first, let's start with its Android brethren. Here we've got the Galaxy S 4G for T-Mobile. The same size screen there, 4 inches. Go ahead and stack those guys. You can see that for dual core, this thing is not much bigger at all. It's almost as thin, actually, as, say, an iPhone 4, which at one point was the thinnest phone on the market. So you can really see what Motorola has done here. Very nice job. I'm looking forward to getting into this phone. Of course, we'll have a ton of coverage on Techno Buffalo and the YouTube channel, so stay tuned for all of that goodness, including the rest of the accessories that come with this guy. I'm John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo, and I will see you in the next video.